What's up? My name is Johnny Johnny, and this is Live with Johnny Johnny. I need everybody to tap in. Last time I started, I was tired. But nevertheless, we in the building. If you are a female, I need you to tap in. Real quick. We can start here in just a second. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope y'all doing good. I record these at nighttime, so excuse my tiredness, but I'm getting up. I know we just playing. But listen, we got a dope podcast for y'all tonight. We're gonna talk about the administration, what's going on in the Trump administration, some of the things that have been passed, and how it's affecting. Listen, we got dope. That's cool. Y'all can tap in, you can leave a comment. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, let me know that too. Thank you, Ms. Dixon, for tapping in. She always supporting her. Man, I appreciate her. And I'm gonna do some. Let me say thank you. I'm gonna talk about what's going on. Like I said, I can see your comments here, so if you got a comment, you can leave it. You don't have to be, you can just leave it privately. You can inbox me. I don't care. If you don't want to leave it on, you got to drop me inbox me. That's cool. But we're gonna talk about some things that are going on right now. And I said it before, how it is an attack, true indeed, on Black people. Right? There are a lot of things that are happening that attack directly on Black people. But it's even more so on Black women. Why? Because they understand that Black women are getting to that point. You know what I'm saying? They're getting to where they are excelling at a high rate. And that scares the hell out of people like Trump and MAGA. Okay? We just seen just recently on this election, we had a female president. Almost with a female became vice president and almost president. Like nobody's done that. We ain't had no Black man do that. We had a Black man become president. We had no Black person become vice president, didn't become president. She was going to do something that has never ever been done before. Not even by white people. By white people's standard. Was Hillary? She was vice president, wasn't she? Yeah, Hillary was vice president. I'm not sure to who, but Hillary, was she vice president to Obama or something? No, it was Joe Biden. Who was Hillary vice president to? Was Hillary ever vice president? Hillary was never vice president. Is that right? Somebody let me know. Somebody let me know. Was Hillary ever vice president? Put that in the comment. I need to know that. Was Hillary ever vice president? I'm gonna give y'all a chance to answer, and then if y'all can't answer, then I'm gonna ask Glock, because I need to know, was Hillary ever vice president? Because I know what we had Clinton. She was Clinton's wife, and then we had Bush. I think Bush 2 times, and she wasn't president. She wasn't Bush's vice president. And then we had Obama. Obama had Joe Biden. So after Obama, we had Trump. Then after Trump, we had Joe Biden. who was Joe Biden's? Kamala Harris. Hillary was never vice president, was she? Fuck. So we've never had a female vice president except for Kamala Harris. And see, that's what I'm saying. And what they did is they understood. They after she lost, quote unquote lost, because we don't know really. After she lost, they started dissecting what got her to that level. Like, I mean, they almost to a point where it was like, how the fuck did this happen? And she, keep in mind, she only had a year to do what she did. In that year, look how much money she raised. Over $1 billion in a year. That's unheard of. So she's a threat. She's still a threat. She's a threat. Kamala Harris is a threat. The other day, she said she made a huge point. She said, "I'm not going back into politics because the system is broken." And she said, "I'm not going to do it." I probably would have did the same thing, because if she would have hinted that she was running for president again, then they would have, the attacks would have started that day. As soon as that came out of her mouth, "I'm running for president," or "I'm running for whatever seat that they thought she was running for," the attacks were started right away, because they have to jump on it, because she's special. We've seen that. We've seen all the people there chanting for Kamala. She is something special. Black girl magic. So what I'm saying is they was like, fuck. It caught them off guard, caught them by surprise. So what they did essentially is they went back and they said, we got to figure out how this black girl went from wherever she came from to get to where we at. And we got to make sure that shit can never happen. And because you see all these black people coming in, you see Obama coming in, you see black people coming in for senators. They basically hold on. We need to figure some shit out. So what they did is they started looking at black women, because we're going to get into that in a second, how Trump reacts to people that goes against him. Because all of y'all females, you got to keep in mind, went against Trump. How does Trump feel when somebody goes against him? When somebody votes against Trump, when it's a movement against Trump, then you're automatically his enemy. He don't view people as all American. I think he's made that very clear. He doesn't view us all as American. It's his base, or he pretends it's his base. That's the people that he supposedly look out for. But if you're not, let's put it like this: if you had a hurricane in your state, and your state was Democratic state, and people didn't vote for Trump, or people say they didn't like Trump, y'all ain't getting no money. That's how petty he is. So by common sense, by those measures, not my measures, so by Trump measures, when y'all got together and voted against him, and he watched it, he's like, oh, y'all black women voting against me? I'm telling you, this is the way this man think. Like, hold on. And Trump ain't never really been around black women like that, except that one girl. She Omarosa. And that was a weird, and everybody, she ended up dissing him and talking about him. So, I mean, even that, Omarosa dissed him. So he like, hold on. And that was right when Omarosa was out here dissing him, right before Kamala. I'm telling you, bro, he's like, hold on. This is the way his man think. And he's watching this shit. He do not like y'all, period. Like y'all say, period. I'm telling you, period. Especially to eat at the same table? Are you fucking kidding me? You want to sit at the same table as me? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Bro, are you what? I'm telling you, this is the way this man think. So we gotta make sure that this shit can never happen again in America. This shit has gone too far. So that's when you start seeing attacks about everything. I'm gonna attack this. I'm gonna attack LGBTQ. I'm gonna attack black people. I'm gonna attack Mexican people because it's too much. It's too much. People advancing economically. If it wasn't for that, they wouldn't give a fuck. If we was out here struggling and suffering, they wouldn't give a fuck what we did. But economically, they feel like they superior. They should have everything. So yeah, I mean, so what I'm saying is he's taking it piece by piece. Okay, black women have a reputation of, and this is good, that they can struggle. Because I've known some black people, black women who didn't have nothing. They can struggle. But that struggle makes them stronger. And they end up reaching to the top. Because they do got mind. Black women have minds. But that mind has to be shaped and molded at an early age. So she can have something and some know-how and some common sense. You feel what I'm saying? If a black woman is brought up, raised right, even if they just kind of fucked up, she's gonna eventually, in my opinion, she's gonna get some shit together if that's her will. Because her will is to survive, right? So with that being said, they started dissecting everything that they felt would benefit a black person. You got Section 8, because a female could be on Section 8 for 10, 13 years, but then they're getting their degree and raise a whole family. Why she on Section 8? Not using the system, but just using it as a crutch so she can, you know what I'm saying? I've seen families, and I'm saying white families, so I'm not never knocking old families. I've seen white families who they used it as a means of income. That's totally different than just making it so you can go to college and, you know what I'm saying, get by and raise your kids. That's totally different. That's why they shut it down for 2 years. So if you can't do or get your college or get your degree in 2 years, you don't get shit. You got to go back to work. So now you're not able to use that as a crutch to go to school. They snatch that away. Give me that. Give me all that. Pell grants and things like that is something that black people use. Black women use Pell. When I was at ICC, that's all I heard black women talk about was Pell grants. So to take all of that money from that, now y'all trying to get y'all nursing shit and all this. Nah, bro. And then this is my thing I think about too, because I think some of y'all to a point where y'all like, well, I got my shit. I got my nursing, so it don't bother me. It's not that, bro. The thing is the future for your kids and your grandkids. That's where they snatching the shit away from. They'll let you get another 20, 30 years. So y'all have it. But after that, my grandkids and my kids is going to rule this motherfucking earth. Because your kids ain't going to know shit. We're going to make sure our kids know. It's like slavery. What slavery was. That was the main thing with slavery. Attack education. Make sure they don't know nothing. It's the same thing. It's the same ballpark. Castle and PBC, Sesame Street. That's how a lot of black kids learn. Let's get rid of that shit and replace it with what you see on YouTube now is just dumb shit. So they don't learn not a damn thing. Just spin around the circle and crazy, goofy shit. And they don't know shit. That's to them is, okay, let's do that. That's why you see cartoons back in the days in other countries, and it would teach you shit. But we didn't have shit but Tom and Jerry's running around running into shit. Trying to kill each other. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, that's cool. I'm not knocking that, but that can't be the end all. You had to have Sesame Street in there to teach you some shit. We gotta watch Sesame Street, but it was entertaining, and it taught you early. Because some parents don't have the time to sit there and teach ABCs all the time. And, you know, it's gonna be a gap to fill in. But now they're like, let's snatch all of that shit. Keep these kids dumb as fuck. As long as we can keep these kids dumb, let's do it. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's an attack because black women are the ones that have kids. In my society, they're the ones that have kids. They're the ones that raise the kids. Now, there's some exceptions, my son. But more times than none, it's the black women who have kids. And want to get an education, go to college and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? That's something they should be able to do on the government's dime. If you're not gonna get reparations for slavery, god damn, give them something. But it's not like that. They taking everything. I'm telling you. They do not want you to get to that level again to where you'll be vice president. That means talking about your daughters, your daughters and shit. Not necessarily you. You can probably still get to vice president level. They talking about your daughters and granddaughters. They don't want them to do shit. You feel what I'm saying? The goal is not to just rule now, which they always try to rule, but the goal is to rule for the next 100 years. That's what Project 2025 is about. And so they have rules in place so they can run this motherfucking for the next 100 years, unquestioned. Ain't shit you gonna be able to do about it. Once Project 2025 is in place, ain't shit you gonna be able to do about none of this shit. But sit and complain, and that might get you locked up. See, they got cops everywhere. We ain't gonna be able to do shit. Shit is happening right now. All right, we're gonna watch this video. I want y'all to check this out. If y'all got some what y'all think. Black people losing their jobs like crazy. If you don't think it's attacking against black people, I want you to see this.
Hey everyone, this is George Cook at African American Reports. Many of us tried to warn y'all, including myself, that Donald Trump being elected president again would not be good for black people, and here's more proof. The June unemployment numbers have come out, and black unemployment is at 6.8%. That's up from 6% in May, and it's at its highest number since 2022. And this can all be traced back to Trump's economic and tariffs policies, or rather his indecisiveness when it comes to his economic and tariff policies. Many businesses, especially those in transportation, utilities, and warehousing, where many black people work, simply don't know what to do. They don't know whether the tariffs are going to be high or low. Will there be tariffs? So they're downsizing or not hiring, which is affecting black unemployment. Also, Trump and DOJ's cuts to the federal workforce have greatly impacted black people, especially black women. Although a small percentage of the population, black women make up 12% of the federal workforce. As a matter of fact, black women made up 28% of the workforce at the Department of Education, which was cut in half. So many black women lost their jobs there, as well as in the departments of Housing and Urban Development and Health and Human Services. Many black women also were hired in newly created DEI positions to oversee DEI programs, and due to Trump's executive order, those positions are now illegal, so those people lost their jobs. I keep telling y'all, elections have consequences. And the question I have for those black people that supported Trump, and for those of you that did not vote at all, what you got to say now? Goodbye and God bless y'all.
This reality is both sad and true. But one thing about the black community is they will always rise up. There is nothing that can put them down. Share your thoughts in the comments down below.
Y'all know how Trump likes to claim that he has done more for black people than anyone else? Well, then maybe he can explain why the unemployment rate for black people is now the highest that it has been since the pandemic. In July, it hit 7.2%. And y'all, this is directly contributed to that fool's anti-DEI agenda. The bulk of the federal workforce that was laid off was disproportionately black. But he has done so much. So again, I say, fuck Trump and fuck you for voting for him.
So I saw an article today, and it said that over 300,000 black women have left the workforce over the last 3 months. And that sounded absolutely insane to me. If it doesn't sound crazy to you, what really made it crazier was when you look into the article. It said that we're not leaving by choice, right? We're getting laid off, pushed out, or having to navigate through crazy trade-offs. Basically, they're twisting our arms. So I have a question for all the women that look like me, all the black women that see this. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Because stuff is crazy. I feel like we honestly got to have each other's backs. I mean, I know how I'm feeling about this as someone who's been affected by unemployment over the last year, and I think they're calling it long-term employment now. That's the official term. You go through many emotions, you have many thoughts. But my thing is, we go through so much. This is just one little piece out of all the things that as Black women we have had to go through within not only the last year, but just life in general, right? And it's crazy that this number is just growing. So I wanted to get on here and just see how y'all are doing. Just a check-in, see how y'all are doing, see how we can help each other if there's any way. And yeah, send my blessings.
When I read the headline that nearly 300,000 Black women had left the United States workforce since February of this year, it immediately reminded me of this article that I read 5 years ago by Erica Stallings, which was titled, "When Black Women Go from Office Pet to Office Threat." And we're going to get into all of this and unpack this slowly. So with that being said, let's hop right into it. So let's get into the data first. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, between February and June of this year, 318,000 Black women had lost their job. Or the technical term is that their employment fell to zero. However, the unemployed number only rose by 27,000. But the total labor force is down by 291,000. And of course, these estimates are not perfect. And I have a video on YouTube that explains all about the jobs, numbers, and reports, so what have you. But going with the estimates, this is insane. And as an economist, this signifies a shift in perceived utility, which is a term that originated from behavioral economics. And in this case, it seems like us Black women have decided to say that any psychological costs associated with the workplace outweighs any perceived benefits, from your paycheck to the status in which that you get from your job as well. And when the tipping point hits en masse, we see exodus, and which is something in which that we are seeing now. But why does the cost feel so high? This is exactly where Erica Stallings' beautiful article that was written in Zora, which centers Black women's voices, comes into play. And the article describes how we are often celebrated until we decide to assert boundaries, brilliance, or leadership. And then all of a sudden, we are seen as difficult. And we know what type of mental toll that these labels, or even being treated as if that we have these negative qualities, can work, especially in corporate settings. So in my opinion, these exits aren't just economic. They are very strategic, and they are a signal. And where Black women are saying that I am not safe, valued, or protected here. So I'm going to exit to either build my own, rest, or to explore whatever else is out there. And the labor market should be listening. I would highly, highly recommend that you go read Erica Stallings' article, because it literally made me feel heard, seen, viewed, all of the things. So check her out, please. So the question isn't just why do Black women leave the workforce, but also what type of workplaces would make us stay, and not only stay, but thrive, and as well as want to contribute. And with that being said, I look forward to you all's thoughts below. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next video. Have a wonderful day.
Howdy. So I am Taylor Williams. I'm a researcher, a doctoral candidate studying Black women's business outcomes, and I'm currently querying a book about Black women's pay inequity to major literary agents. Anyway, so there has been a lot of discourse on the internet about Black women. So 300,000 women have lost their jobs or have left corporate America within the last 3 months. And so a big sector of that is women who were working in DEI, and also women who are working like at the Department of Education. So Donald Trump's revamping of the Department of Education and just education in general, and also DEI is one of the big factors of what's led us to this. Another thing that I have been seeing is a trend over pretty much since COVID of Black women leaving their jobs just because they just don't want to be a part of the corporate train wheel and the microaggressions. And I am one of those women. I left my job in corporate America to write a book and to finish my doctorate. And so one of the things that I will say is a lot of Black women are starting their careers over. They're making career pivots. They're going back to law school or realty school, or they're going back to school to finish a degree that they wanted to do. All of these are really amazing, great things. Also, a lot of Black women are just working for here and now jobs just to make ends meet. So Black women right now, I know our unemployment rate is at 6%, which is the highest in the country, but also be very, very kind to yourself, because I am one of those people that I'm like doing homework and writing, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. My parents told me to go to college, get a government job, and mind my business. Now you want to be a New York Times bestselling author. But one of the big things that I will say is there's a terminology called the Red Queen's race, which basically means you're running just as hard to stay in place. So what does that mean? A lot of us are running extra hard, but we're still stuck in the same place. And I think part of that is Black women taking the time to give back to other women. So for instance, when I'm doing my research or when I was writing my book, I would reach out to a lot of Black women that I admired, or even Black women just to get their take on whatever I was doing with the project. And a lot of Black women just wouldn't respond. They would not respond at all. And some of them I've actually seen talk about this issue on TikTok, but I'm gonna mind my business. So what I want to see happen is, if you're a Black woman and you want to write a book, email an author that you admire. If I want to write in Essence Magazine, I emailed one of the editors of Essence Magazine just to be like, hey, I'm really inspired by your work. Take the time to reach out to people, and Black women who are in those spaces that other Black women want to get into, it takes 5 minutes to respond to an email. We're all going through a tough time here in America, but particularly as Black women, and you never know what a 5-minute response to an email could do for somebody and could really make a difference. So there are my 2 cents. Bye. And one more thing, I know we all have different budgets and different monetary restraints, but one thing I have been trying to do is find ways to support Black women businesses. So for instance, I found a boutique close to my house that I didn't know that was a Black woman's own boutique. So just find different ways that you can to, help out another Black woman's business. We have a lot of buying power as Black women. And so I just wanted to say that as well. Reach out and
money with them while they braid all of these Black American promotion,
but also
and promotion machine is getting ready to gear up. I know you all know that. And Black Americans, what I want to say is that this is the best time for us to show all of these businesses, retailers, companies, people who think that we're going to continue to spend our money with them while they brazenly and boldly show us disrespect, that they are sadly mistaken. We've already shown Target and Uber and other companies, but the major holiday season is a prime opportunity for us to show these people better than we can tell them. It's hitting.
And another thing, I think you need to understand that now that Donald Trump has fired the woman in charge of putting out the jobs numbers, the unemployment numbers, this is the last unemployment report that you'll ever be able to trust coming out of this federal government. Donald Trump is right now, probably tonight, combing the ranks of Fox to figure out which host he can pull out of Fox and give that job to, or some person from Breitbart, or Project 2025's authors list. He's going to put some flunky in there, and you won't be able to trust any of the future jobs numbers. They're all going to be glowing. They're all going to be way above expectations. 1 million jobs a month, 2 million, 3 million. And if the mainstream media does not question the jobs numbers going forward, they are not serving you. No one should trust a single other piece of data that comes out of that regime, because Donald Trump is acting full autocrat.
What's up, y'all? So a quick update you should probably know about. So President Trump just fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Erica McIntyre, right after the July report came out showing only 73,000 jobs were added nationwide. Now that number was way below expectations. And instead of addressing the economic data, Trump publicly claimed the report was rigged and removed McIntyre from her post. Now, for context, the Bureau of Labor Statistics is supposed to be a nonpartisan agency. Its job is to report facts, unemployment rates, job growth, wages, inflation. That's not political, that's national data. And this firing is raising serious concerns, y'all, even among Republicans. Senator Rand Paul said, you can't make the numbers better by firing the people who count them. Senator Cynthia Lummis warned that if the numbers are accurate and he just didn't like them, then that's a problem. So this isn't just a shakeup. This could undermine public trust in government statistics, which are used to set policies, determine interest rates, and guide federal spending. If data starts getting manipulated or silenced, that's not just politics. That's a threat to transparency. Y'all keep an eye on this because it could affect more than just the next jobs report.
Damn, that's crazy, man. We fuck, man. So we're gonna end it at that. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Give me y'all thoughts. Like, we live in crazy times, bro. All right, my name is Johnny.